okay, the United Arab Emirates, for example,
Yes.
they weren't going around begging people to come to their country. They just made it easy. And they started with what? The Burj Arab, the first,
Seven-star hotel.
the 7-star hotel in the world. And, you know, people, and when you come to their country, they now advertise what they have to offer you. They don't have to start convincing you. When you see it, you see the security, you see how organized everything is. They make it easy for you to do whatever you want to do. You understand? They don't exploit you. It's easy for you to go and invest. A lot of Nigerians are going to invest. So what is stopping Nigeria from doing the same thing? You understand? Do the right thing. Make sure we have the right infrastructure. Invest in our hospitals. Invest in that's the healthcare sector. Invest in our educational sector. These are educational sector. You cannot imagine the amount of jobs that it will create. The teachers, you know, in Nigeria here, teachers are not being valued. That's why in the last administration, also that's the university lecturers went on strike for almost a year, and the government didn't really care. Why? Because they are not investing in the educational sector. Their kids are not studying, just like they are not doing their medical checkups in this country. Their kids don't study here.
So there's no emotional investment.
If their kids are here, they will invest. They will invest this money in the educational sector. If you go to some of the schools, it's nothing new. You don't have chairs. The schools, in some cases, you don't even have enough classrooms. In some cases, you sit down under mango tree or a tree. In some cases, you have classrooms, dilapidated classrooms, no roof. There's this particular school now that, you know, through one NGO that we are working on, about 80% of the students don't have sitting chairs and tables.
80%.
80. Only one class in the primary school that has complete sitting chairs and tables for the children in one class. There are 4 classrooms that have chairs. The other class has about 70% for chairs and tables for the students. Then the other class has about 50%. The last class has about 30% chairs and tables for the students. The remaining classrooms for the primary school don't have chairs and tables. The secondary school, there's a secondary school within that same compound. No chairs, no tables. How do you want?
What kind of environment?
What kind of environment?
Yeah.
These are just basic things.
Yeah.
You understand? So, like I said, very, very unpatriotic politicians and very selfish that only care about themselves. Since their kids are studying abroad, like the last time they were talking with the minister as regards the strike, that's the former minister, during the Buhari administration. The ASU went to sit down with him, and the first thing they drew his attention to is that his child is abroad or just graduated. But is that one of the reasons why he doesn't even care about? And the minister just walked out. And the minister can walk out. Why? Because one, he's a friend to the president, and the president, the president himself doesn't even really care about the schools, because even his own children don't even study in the country.
In the country,
he doesn't. Yes, he's all his medical. There was a time he was abroad for almost 3 months, treating himself abroad. If abroad, these prime ministers go to the same hospitals that every other citizen go to, And don't forget that you have the state's house clinic that they are constantly budgeting billions of naira for,
Mm.
and they cannot go for they cannot go and treat themselves there for medical checkups and some other things. So
Mm.
they need to invest. Once they invest in, if they invest in the transportation system now, the amount of roads, the amount of jobs it will create, anything they are investing in, they are going to create jobs. And you know, other multi companies, all
Mm.
these big time companies, when they see all this basic infrastructure, they understand that these people are serious people. There are things you look out for: one, security; two, economy. Is your economy stable?
Mm.
The amount of businesses that have closed down just in the past 1 year,
Yeah.
if they give you the statistics, you'll be so shocked.
I've seen some of the
Because
headlines, and yeah, shocking, very shocking, Omar. And I
if,
think
if for example, I'm in the bakeries, in the baking industry, I buy flour to make bread, and I'm selling a loaf of bread, for example, for 1,000 naira.
okay.
And by the time I sell this my bread, within that week, I've sold my bread, I've gotten that money, the initial money that I've spent. By the time I'm buying flour the next time, or whatever I'm buying the next time, the money has increased because of dollar. So at the end of the day, you will find out that the money you have gotten, you're not able to even get back,
Reinvest.
uh, reinvest.
Hmm.
So every time, who wants to come and invest in this kind of economy?
No, I totally.
Last year, last year we were buying bread for around between 500 to 600. Now, as I speak with you, we're buying bread for a loaf of bread is about 1,500 just within a year. Eh? Rice, rice that we're talking about.
Hmm.
How much was it? When you hear these prices, and it's everything,
Hmm.
so there's no confidence in the system. Then you now talk about the no power for you to be able to industrialize. Without power, you can't industrialize. You still have to import, and the power too is another issue entirely.
Hmm. So,
So they
Umar,
need power.
I think I think we should I think we should put a pause to it, because you and I know that when we talk, we can talk forever. So I am going to we're going to speak again, and there are many other things I think we can touch on in subsequent episodes, because this state of the nation, I'll probably like to us to do some kind of like series on it. So this
Okay.
one I'll really say is really focused on security, but like you said, security is not standalone. Security touches on
It doesn't.
other parts of the
It doesn't.
ecosystem that makes Nigeria or makes a country what it is. But I'd like us to
Yes.
possibly explore other areas. There are things like inflation control. You touched on forex. We can look at the liquidity of forex. We can look at agriculture. We can look at poverty alleviation on its own. We can look at even things like oil theft, corruption, electoral reform, economic
Yeah.
diversification, and even international relations, and any other topics, education
Yes.
on its own. And we can look at maybe subsequent episodes where we do a deep dive, and even the question
Yeah.
of how is Nigeria today. But I know to
Yes.
ask that question earlier about the state of the nation, and I really appreciate your coming on the show, ladies and
Mm.
gentlemen. Like I mentioned earlier,
Let me quickly touch on something, right? Just
please go
briefly.
ahead.
What anybody that is listening or that has the opportunity to hear what I'm saying, you understand? He needs to advise the president and, in general, the political elites. What they have to understand is, if Nigeria fails, we all fail.
Hmm.
And we have to first admit that we have got this thing wrong. If we don't admit that we have gotten this thing wrong, what we are doing, we will never get it right. So the government needs to sit down, and just like how former President Yar'Adua, may so rest in peace,
Yeah.
admitted that yes, the process that brought him in was wrong,
No.
and he tried, he went all out. The president needs to go all out. All these our politicians that just sit down, they need to go all out, mingle with people to get this, information firsthand. Don't allow all these your ministers to come and be giving you this information. Their aim is just to see that how do we make the lives of Nigerians better. The
Hmm.
statistics is your report card. Whatever you tell us is you are just is TV.
Hmm.
Is TV. What Nigerians are feeling is the reality. So no matter how your if the people are giving us information, twist, try to make us feel like the country is in a good is on the right track, we are just fooling ourselves. We are just fooling ourselves. We need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to fix the issue of security. We need to fix the issue of health. We need to fix the issue of education. We need to be fix the issue of election, how our leaders are being elected, accountability,
Hmm.
issue of local government, autonomy of the judiciary, autonomy of local government, autonomy of the security forces, you know. So they need to sit down and think about this country in the next 20 years. How will
Yeah.
this country be?
Hmm.
How will this country be? Agriculture. We need to invest massively. All this traveling, please, they should stop traveling. They should stop traveling. Stay in this country. Instead, they should even be sending representatives. Our president doesn't need to be traveling. He should stay in this country and tackle all these issues that are facing us. Because